I'm back, guys. My apologies. Have you ever had something just work out so easily, even though you kind of didn't think it was going to work out, but you stayed in the energy of, yeah, it's going to be fine. It's going to be cool. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, well, that just happened. And so, yay. Thank you for your patience. I hope that you guys come back. We are talking about the eclipse, or we're about to talk about the eclipse. And so, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. Man. I'm just sitting in the gratitude of things are always working out for me. And that's exactly what this energy is showing us, that everything is always working out for us. And that's what love does. That love is always moving us in the direction for our growth, for our evolution, for our own expression of how we want to move that out into the world, and how we want to be in love with others, and the realization that that can change, and that can change moment to moment, and we have the power to change. We have the power to decide. And when we can come into understanding and knowing our deepest truth, not anyone else's. And so our deepest truth of, this is what I want, and this is what I want to express out into the world, this is what I desire, that can change in the next day, right? And so I was working with a client yesterday, and we were doing some work where he came to this deep truth within himself of, I choose me. And in that choosing me, it meant the release of a relationship. And in the release of the relationship, what wanted to circumvent were all of the reasons why he wanted to stay, all of the reasons why, not he wanted to stay, but all of the reasons that were telling him to stay. Family, time, living arrangements, this, that, all of the things. But at the end of the day, the deepest truth was that he no longer wanted, or no longer was choosing to be in this relationship. And that was the truth. And so, what is true for you as you move through to this eclipse? What is it that you desire? What is it that you want to experience? What is it that you love? Because we've got this full moon eclipse that's happening on Saturday. And it's not that the eclipse or the full moon have any power over you. It is influencing you. It is supporting you in the shift. And so when we think about the moon can shift, or does shift, the tides. And if your body is made out of 80% water, 90% water, then the water within our own bodies are shifting. And as it's shifting, it is revealing emotions that may have been held. It's revealing thoughts or ideas or parts of our personality that do not serve. And so this is an opportunity for you to be with you, to really sit and to know what it is that you truly desire. Because in this eclipse energy, in this support for us to expand, and for us to know ourselves, and for us to be our deepest expression, is people coming in and out of our lives, being eclipsed in and being eclipsed out. And as they are coming in and out of your life at this time, you're being reminded that how it begins is how it ends. I had a person eclipsed into my life, and the relationship began with a lie. To realize that we circumvented this idea of what is a lie the entire time, to have it complete 3 years later, same lie. Beautiful realizations, beautiful understandings, and he eclipsed in, he eclipsed out. And that offered me an opportunity to notice the places where I gaslit myself, to notice the places. And I thought that this is, and I say this because, this eclipse is in Taurus, but this eclipse it began in Libra. And as a Libra, I thought, to see the positivity in all of the things, it's okay. They probably did that because they weren't having a good day. That's okay that they did that. It's probably because they're stressed. when really and truly I was gaslighting myself and probably others around me, looking for the positive in things rather than seeing what is true. And so, where is it that you circumvent the truth by coming to these reasons that may be illusions and distortions? And where are these illusions and distortions stopping you from loving you fully? So, we've got the full moon eclipse that is here to support you, that will be here to unveil and reveal emotions or things that you may not have seen. It may bring in people back into your life to help you to navigate these relationships, or simply to say no, no to the pattern so that you could create the space. Because though there is a release with the full moon, and we've got 7 of hearts, which is surrender, which is letting go, which is release. At the same time as there is a release, there is a filling up of new opportunities. Energy is always moving. No vacuum is maintained. And so as things are going out, stuff is coming in. And so where are you going to focus? Are you going to focus in the direction of what it is that you desire? So we've got the energy of the 9. The 9 is, again, it's that energy of, am I holding myself in these reasons? And in these reasons, is that helping me to maintain the past? Is that helping me to stay in the suffering? Again, this is an energy that is inviting us to open our hearts, and to be willing to receive more love. But many of our patterning and many of our conditioning as we grew up, we closed ourselves to that and reinforced it in relationships, in desiring things from a lower resonance that feels safe for us. And so many of us stay in these relationships, even though they're painful. Many of us stay in the place of work, even though it hurts. Many of us stay in places and we continue to do things that hurt our own feelings because that is comfortable. And right now, what love is wanting to do is to break your heart open so that you can feel more. And it's going to be really uncomfortable in the beginning. But are you willing to do that anyway? Right? It's like, I watch my nieces, and I've got one niece that's, a couple of months old, and I've got another niece and their sisters, and another niece, and she's 3 years old. And I can hold the one, and I can just love her. I could love the little, and love her so much that she falls asleep. And then I can go and I could, ask if I could have a hug from the other one, the 3-year-old, and I can go and I can love her. But she'll get to a point where she'll be like, that's too much. That's too much love. No, let me go. Let me go. Let me go. And imagine that to be us here now, where we stop ourselves from receiving because it doesn't look the right way, or it doesn't feel the right way. It feels foreign, or because it's not coming in the direction from the people that we desire. But if you are love, if you've got love that flows through you, it's always available, that is always activated within you with just a remembering, and you are fully expressing that out to others, doesn't that mean that others are fully expressing that out to you? Like, isn't that a possibility? And so are you willing to move in the direction of the possibility? Are you willing to move in the direction of the potential? Are you willing to allow it to be fulfilled? And we've got the 7 of hearts. And the 7 of hearts is releasing the need to know how you will receive love, or if you decide to end a relationship, releasing the need to know how that's going to fall into place, because that's control. We will never know how things are going to happen, but we try to think we do know. Because the universe is always playing with us in such a way that it's offering us the miracle, something more and beyond what we are able to even know is possible. And so the 7 of hearts has this lower perception of failure, of betrayal, of loneliness and abandonment, of victimization from others. It's this feeling stuck. I'm stuck. I feel like I have no choice, feeling blocked. But on the high perception, when you can lean into, this is what is true in my heart, this is where I want to go, this is how I'm feeling, I'm going to let this be the pathway, then now we have the opportunity to experience relationships through the lens of love, not fear. And in that, it allows us to experience relationship success at the highest level that is possible, beyond your own thinking. And so your ego is being played with here. And there's nothing wrong with your ego. Your ego made these decisions. Your ego did these things as a child that kept you safe. It dissociated from the body. If there was abuse, it ran and it hid and pretended it was invisible because that was safe. And we continue to adopt these patterns. We continue to reinforce these patterns as we grew up, as we began to be in more mature relationships. But is that serving you now in this moment? Is it serving you to believe that you are unloved, that you are unlovable? Is it serving you to believe that you are invisible or that you need to be? I'm going to imagine no. And so are you willing to, during this full moon, during this eclipse, really now here in this moment, are you willing to fall deeper in love with you? Are you willing to see that you are more than who you think you are? Are you willing to see that your purpose is needed, that your expression is desired by the world, that there are people around you who love you, who absolutely adore you, and they haven't even met you yet? Especially for those of you who show up online and do the things. And I mean, do you know how many people are watching you, are paying attention to what you share, are paying attention to your expression, or it can't help but be attracted? Like, we can't see that through the analytics, right? And maybe we can. And yet you yourself ripple out into the world. You can't help but do that because we are all one. We're all connected, just diverse in how we look. And so this is a beautiful opportunity to see what is true for me. And the willingness to decide to move in the direction of what is true for you so that you can begin to see the path light up. And as the path lights up and you feel that love that flows through you, and you allow that love to inspire you into an action, then you'll begin to converge with the people who are in your community. You will begin to converge with your clients. You will begin to converge with that partner that you desire, with the money that you desire, with all of the things. Simply because you are you. So, thank you for coming back, guys. I'm excited to be here. I am curious about your questions. What questions do you have? What is rising up for you this week? What's new? What are your experiences? And let's pull some cards. Yeah. Hi, Nicole. Awesome. All right. Nicole is asking, I would love a card. I feel like either body, close relationship, or career could be up for me. Anything more specific would be super helpful. I've done much work in these areas, but could be more open. Close relationship, career. What do you mean? Can you give me more words on what you mean by could be up for me? As in rising up for you? Like, yeah, can you give me a little bit more? I'm feeling you. You feel open. You feel great. Like, you feel good. So I'm just giving Nicole a minute just to respond. How I'm feeling. Oh, yeah. Rising for release or growth or openness. Yeah. So I'm feeling you as being open. So you're like this open vessel. And it's almost like you've been hanging out there for a couple of weeks. You're like, yeah, I feel okay. I feel good. Yeah. But you haven't necessarily directed yourself on a path. And so my curiosity is, what is it that you want? What is it that, where are you wanting to go? And so here, now I'm feeling I feel that you're holding yourself back from moving in the direction of what you want because you're a little bit afraid that it may create some sort of disharmony within your own body, within your own, it almost feels like you're right now in the status quo. So right now it feels as though your stability, your structure, I want to say there's this illusion. So there's this illusion right now that you feel as though you're safe and you're secure. You kind of feel good. You're feeling a sense of freedom here. You're feeling like you can go either way. But there's a pathway that you're taking, and there's something that you truly want that is within you that you're afraid of choosing. And so there's an ending that's happening for you. And it's an ending that's happening for you whether you try to control it or not. And so the ending can be in relationship. Typically it would be in relationship because it's with hearts. But the relationship can be a dynamic with yourself. It can be a way that you allow yourself to be loved. It almost feels as though in this energy with the 9 of Hearts, there's a lot of love that is accessible and available to you, but you hold yourself back from actually receiving the fulfillment of it. And so it's almost like, are you willing to let go of the electric fence that's around you? You've been feeling as though there's a little bit of hypervigilance. And in this hypervigilance, you're almost waiting for people to come and do something so that you can respond. And so there's like this program that you've got. I keep myself safe by keeping myself within these bounds. And so it could be your morphogenic field. When I feel something is amiss, I back up, or I go away, or I change directions. And you're being invited to just break through that completely, to break through to move out and break through your own electric fence to see that you're safe on the other side. So you want to release things around your body, but I'm afraid because I feel like I'm not allowed to have what I want. Right. And so I think that you've created this barrier within yourself that's keeping you contained in it. And so you're actually holding yourself captive. And so it's this interesting ego, like your mind, your personality is like, oh, I get to keep myself here. And if I keep myself here, but I tell myself, I manipulate my own thinking that I'm just keeping myself safe from everyone else out there, then I'm kosher. And so it's a choice. Are you willing to decide to break through so that you can actually receive the fulfillment of what you desire? Decide to allow yourself to have it, because you're actually allowed to have it. You're just telling yourself, you're manipulating yourself to not, or to think that you can't have it so that you can have it. The King of Spades is like, it's there, it's on the other side. And so this is you breaking through a big pattern that you've had since you were, I think, 3 is what I'm feeling. And so you're breaking through a pattern. As you break through the pattern, something will fall away. And so you might actually experience the falling away of, I want to say, like the timeline falling away, so that you can actually have the experience of what you desire. And inside, you actually know what it is that you want. I'm not allowed to tell you it, you know. And so if you come back into the body to actually feel into the truth of what it is that you desire, you'll know what you're doing. You'll know where you're going. You'll know what you're saying. It's been hidden in this tiny little gem, this tiny little pearl this entire time. You've been nurturing it. You've been loving it. You've been holding it. And it's like, let me out. Let me be free. Let me be expressed. And let yourself have what it is that you want. Again, there's a little bit of fear of what you think you're going to lose. But those things that you think you're going to lose were lost already. Like they've already fallen away. They've been falling into entropy and you've been trying to hold on to them. So, I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath. And let me know how that resonates for you. That is very, very cool. Hello, Stephanie. Hi, Rosalie. Okay, Mesa. I would love cards around choosing me and my abundance and happiness, please. Okay. Okay, so what's stopping you from choosing you? Like, you're being invited to stop. And when you're noticing that you're not choosing you, it's like you're being invited to stop yourself in that moment and ask yourself the question, okay, who's talking? Who's telling me to choose someone else? And so that you can actually have a direct conversation with your ego. Yeah. Because your ego is giving you the reasons as to why you can't choose you, which is this fear that you won't be loved. Yeah. So you're moving through the Jack of Hearts, which is the initiation. You're being initiated into higher love. But in this initiation to higher love, you're looking to see where you've actually handcuffed yourself to others in these codependent relationships. And so you're holding their reasons, or the reasons you're giving them their reasons more power than they need in order for you to stay handcuffed and in these relationships for you with them. So there's this fear that you're going to be alone, and because of this fear of being alone, you'd rather be handcuffed to them in this codependent way rather than choosing you and moving in the direction of what you want, because moving in the direction of what you want simply brings you the abundance and the happiness that you desire. And so are you willing to allow yourself to move through that, to have a rebirth? And in that rebirth, you're going to discover that you're not alone, that you've never been alone, that and your ego can come with you. And so you are moving through a rebirth. This is the energy of a rise of the phoenix. I can hear you. It's like you're saying, man, I feel like I've been doing this again and again. Yes, you have. And so you move into these patterns where you're really, really great. You're really, really great, right? You're really, really great. Everything's kosher. You're acting on behalf of you. You do the things, and then something happens and you put yourself back into the pattern. And then you get upset. And so you stop doing that. You decide you're going to stop doing that. You go along, you're okay. And then something happens, and then you go and you get back in there. And this is like, enough's enough. Stop it. Do the thing that you go in the direction of what you want. Follow your truth. Follow you. Allow your heart to lead. And you're being invited to have deep integrity with who you are, what you want, and what you're here to move out on purpose. And the result of that is you being on purpose, is you moving out into the world and beginning to see the feedback of what it is to let go of the handcuffing, to be free of that, so that you can begin to experience new, I feel like new channelings, new learnings will come through, new ways of moving and expressing yourself out into the world will show up. It almost feels, I feel like what I'm seeing is you've had these experiences. Like I see you with like a fire, and you've got people around you, and you're standing there and you're leading. Now, I'm not sure whether or not this is a thought or an idea of what you've had in the past or something that's come to fruition, but this feels like this is a desire. Like you want to do these things. You want to be in community. You want to be with people in real life, hosting these events, and you want more of it. And so there's new ways of expressing that are available once you move in the direction of you and your happiness and allow for the abundance, the blessings of, okay, this is how it's going to happen. This is what we're going to do. This is where we're going to do it. Here are the people that are going to support you and all of the things. Whew. Yeah. So let me know how that resonates for you. It's very powerful. Mm. All right, Nicole. You want to see a 3-step plan. And I love you. You're not going to see a plan, Nicole. Miss 10 of Clubs, you're not going to see a plan. I can see why you would think you would see a plan, but you're not. You're going to feel the plan. You're not going to see the plan because you got the King of Spades as your Venus, and so you're gonna feel the plan. You're gonna know the plan. You're gonna be inspired in the plan. You got to allow for the universe to land for you. Like the universe is just going to like fall into place and you feel like, yeah, that's it. Oh, that's where I'm going. Oh, that's who's coming into my life. You're really being invited to let the magic in. Stephanie, a lot that's new, yay, and a lot that is turned upside down in my physical environment since my son moved home. It's a good move, just a lot of adjustments. I would love support from the universe. Okay. A lot that is turned physical experience. Okay. So you're not really giving me very much to play with in this moment, but I feel like you're a little bit confused. You're kind of confused as to what to do next. And you're not necessarily listening to your intuition because you're kind of like, I'm feeling like you're closing your eyes to actually seeing. There's something that's happening in your experience, but you're not paying attention to it. And you're using the guise of, it's just small adjustments that we're making because my son just moved back. But there's actually something more that's happening there that you're not allowing yourself to see, which is the truth. And so, yeah. And that whatever it is that you're avoiding yourself from seeing, you actually see it. You're just putting stories around it as to why you're not seeing it or what it is that you're not seeing. You see it. But that whatever it is that you're avoiding, it's to stop gaslighting yourself, see it for the truth that it is, so that you can decide what to do with it. Well, yeah. So I'm curious about, like, even though you're seeing the chaos of what's happening in your life, there's a momentum of it. And so it's creating an emotional cleansing. There's an emotional cleansing that's happening in your home because there's all of these adjustments that are happening. And so all of these getting used to other people or nuances or how people are, whether or not there's enough bathroom time, like all of these things are happening with these adjustments. And I feel that he's older. And so even the younger kids are like, okay, how am I supposed to adjust to him almost? I don't know if he's trying to come in as more of a older sibling, I'm the leader kind of role, and they might be not liking that. So there's a lot of adjustments. There's an emotional cleansing. There's an opportunity here to almost like, I see you like having a fire, talking to your kids and saying, hey, obviously there's big changes. You see there's big changes. Let's have a conversation about it so that we can get our values aligned with our family, so that we can see what it is that we need to, like how we can make this adjustment easier, smoother. Yeah. And so it's actually moving in the direction of that, of, okay, when I feel into myself, when I feel into my family, what is it that I want? What's the truth of what I want? I see stuff that's happening out there. I might be avoiding how it looks because I'm a little bit afraid of what it might mean. And I'm willing to see it. So I'm going to trust what it is that I see. I'm going to come back to the truth of what it is that I want to experience in this home with my family so that I can move into the expression of that. So I can release this chaos. So I can create a place of peace in my home, because I've got all of these kids that are running around in fight or flight, including myself, so that I can come into a coherence with my family, so that we can come and be in a place of feeling good, feeling comforted, feeling safe within our home, feeling nurtured, feeling loved, not just by each other, but by by God, by the universe, by the divine, by life itself, so that we can know that there's almost like this interesting thing about choices. Like, did we make the right choice? Was it right? Mom made the wrong choice. You shouldn't have done this. So that we can all get everyone into an alignment with, this is where we're going. How can I serve you if you're not feeling good about it? How can we adjust? What is it that we need? It's like we come to a place where everyone's voice is heard, so that we can continue to move forward and continue to expand together as a family. Because I feel like there's other people that are wanting to come into this family, and i.e. a man. So perhaps you have a man that's coming into your field. And so you want to have this adjusted, kosher, good, blessed, so that you can allow for this space to actually expand out to invite in the person that's in your field. Boom shakalaka, Stephanie. That's awesome. Let me know how that resonates. Woo. All right, Patrick, welcome. Okay, I have an idea for changing the world. What could be my next step? Love that. Okay, so I'm feeling the choice in your body. And so the choice in your body is right in your root. But there's a part of, sorry, there's energy moving. Oh. So there's a part of fear. There's a part of like fear of expressing it out into the world, or there's like what's holding you back? Is there a little bit of fear about people thinking that you're crazy, or that like people won't believe that you have this idea, or like there's a little bit of resistance to actually moving it out and speaking to the right people, whoever the right people are, to moving in that direction? You're actually in resistance to speaking to some people about what it is that you want to move out into the world. You're also afraid that there's some people that might shut you down. Kind of how I'm feeling. This energy of like you've been stabbed in the back before. People have stolen your ideas. And so we're just going to let that move. There's a little bit of fear and apprehension that's wanting to move out of the body. So I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath. Hopefully you're still on the call. And interesting, there's a little bit of animosity that's moving out through the body too. So we're just going to let that animosity move. And disbelief. And for whatever reason. So we'll let that disbelief move as well. I feel like I know what that's connected to. So I am stick. You are stick. Is that sick? Or is that stick? Or is that I'm still here? So I'm just tapping in. So you're being invited to take a look at the intention for this change. And so to look at the intention for the change that you want to move into the world, you want to pay attention to what is the cause of what I'm moving out into the world. Am I moving this from the cause? So we're like thinking about the law of cause and effect. So if the cause is to fight back, if the cause is to be right, if the cause is to show someone up, if the cause is something that is not from a place of love, if it's not anchored in love, then you're going to want to adjust the cause of it so that it can move out into the world, because it's going to meet in convergence with others, which will now move into, which will now be amplified with others. It will actually call people in to be with you as you move this out. But if the cause is to fight something else, to be at war with something else, to be in it, there's almost like a little bit of aggression there. And the aggression could be just a personal thing for you, which is easy to release. But you want it to move out because this is changing the world. And so I guess that's one of the questions. Are you willing to anchor it into love? I kind of hear it already is. And to you're sick. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, just dropped a card. I'm sorry that you're sick. And so some energy is moving. Yeah. So moving it into the cause, paying attention to what the cause is as you move it out into the world so that you can begin to meet in convergence with those who want to support your cause for changing the world. Still energy moving. And interesting. Part of what's holding you back from taking the next step is that you're afraid that it's actually going to come into fruition, that you're afraid that you're going to receive the accolades, you're afraid that you're not worthy or valuable enough, or that you have the right idea, that you are moving it out in the right way. There's a little bit of tension that you're holding in the mind that is that's holding this in place. And so it's this willingness to know, to be so certain with what it is that you desire, to be so certain in what the cause is, so when I say the cause again, like that it's anchored in love. I am here and I want to change the world, and this is my idea. And as I have this idea that is going to change the world, it feels like love. It feels like love, and it feels like peace. And as it feels like love and it feels like peace, I'm going to feel into that frequency. And I'm going to ask that frequency what my next action is, because this is what I want. I decide to have it. This is decision. I decide I'm going to have it. And as you decide to have it, you're going to have this inspired action. This inspired action is going to come through you because it is connected to this vision that you have. And this, whatever this is that is coming, I feel that this step has actually been coming to you again and again. And the only reason why you're not taking that step is because it doesn't make sense to you, and it's not supposed to. When you're playing with the universe, the how is not going to present the way that you think it's going to present. And if you are here moving this out into the world because you want to change the world, then you are playing with the big guns. And if you're playing with the big guns, you want to open yourself to possibilities. You want to open yourself to miracles. You want to be willing to do the things that don't make sense, because it's not going to look linear. It's not. It's going to look like a cycle. It's going to look like you're going to be making a phone call to one person. You're going to be like, I don't understand why I'm making this phone call. You're going to go to coffee with this person. And as you're out having coffee with this person, you spill coffee on yourself. And you're like, oh my God. And so you go to the dry cleaners and you bring your shirt in, and then you meet somebody there who wants to help you. Right. And so it's willing to play as you move this serious thing of changing the world out into the world. I'm hoping that resonates with you. But how fun is that? I think that it's like, yeah, you're being invited to bring the fun into it. That yes, it is serious, but it doesn't have to be so serious. Yeah. All right, Lisa BG. Thank you for coming back, Lisa. I would love a message surrounding the current energies in the midst of this process. Ooh, the midst of this process. What is this process? I feel like you're birthing something. I feel like you've been in this place. You've been very grounded. And so I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath. It's like you've been the center of your world, and you've been watching a lot of things around you change. A lot of things around you maybe fall away. A lot of things around you, a lot of unveiling of people, unveiling of the truth of who they are, unveiling of the truth of who you were in relationship with people, the truth of, or the unveiling of what it is that you actually want in relationship with yourself and in connection with others. And so it feels like you've just had this huge detox. And it almost has your mind spinning, because it's almost like, it's like this huge illusion, distortion rose up, and you're almost in shock by it. I hope that makes sense. I feel like it does. Yeah. Like, the cards don't even have to tell me. Like, you had to move through these experiences in order for you to see this distortion, in order for you to see that, so that you can actually start to have the experiences that you desire. And so what you actually moved through was an initiation to higher love. And in this initiation to higher love, you had to see what was done. You had to see the truth in order for it to be ripped off your eyes, right? That you had been moving through this life with some rose-colored glasses. And they were pretty. They were nice rose-colored glasses. They fit you perfectly well. And it actually continued to allow for you to be in this pattern of hurting, of being hurt by other people. And so in this release of this distortion, you're now actually receiving a lot of the blessing of the insights, a lot of this is the chaos that I'm seeing. Like, you're actually starting to land into, oh, this is actually what happened here. This is what happened there. When I was 6, that's actually what happened. Oh my goodness. And so you're receiving like this, all of this information that's almost creating a little bit of fear in the body, if that makes sense, a little bit of anxiety in the body, because it's just a lot. Yeah. And so you're being invited to really be with yourself in the integration, because what's happening is these patterns are actually falling away. And so you're actually in the middle of, like, you're in the middle of your timeline is falling away, and you're actually watching it fall away with all of the, oh, this is what happened, and this is what happened, and this is what happened. And you're feeling it through your body. And as you're feeling it through your body, your ego's almost wanting to come in to be like, I need to save myself. I need to stop myself. It's almost like wanting to grab onto the threads. And so you're here to just allow yourself to integrate, to really be in the frequency of love, to be in your essence, to allow them to fall away. It feels like it's only going to be for a couple more days, like to allow for this eclipse to cleanse you, to just be with it, to be in the moon or under the moon with the eclipse, and to allow it to cleanse, to nurture you, if that's something that you would do, and to just be. Because as this continues to collapse, you get to then move forward on this. It's not even a new pathway. It's just a pathway without blocks. So you get to move forward, deciding as you go, because deciding what you want as you move forward. Oh, this is what I want. This is what I want in a relationship. This is what I want to play with. I choose it. I'm going to move in that direction. And oh, that person's not it. Easy peasy. I'm going to go this way. No more making up stories as to why that person can be okay to be in your life. You're done with that. I think that's the biggest piece. You're done. You're done deciding on everyone else's potential rather than who they are in the moment. Because you're seeing the truth for who they are in the moment rather than seeing their light. And so what's actually been happening with you is you've been spending a lot of years lately, especially doing this inner work. You've been spending time seeing your own reflection in them. And so in seeing your own reflection in them, you've been choosing that instead of seeing the truth. And now that's gone. So yeah, you. Oh, I'm so happy for you, Lisa. It's amazing. Are you a Jack of Hearts? I don't even know. I feel it might be possible that you're a Jack of Hearts too, which is interesting. I love that. Boom shakalaka, Stephanie. Yeah. Hey, Christy. How are you? I just finished school. Oh. Yeah. If you have an opportunity, if you want to put a put something a little bit more specific, please do so. We have time. Yeah, please share a question if you have something a little more specific. Patrick, I found the real history of the elite. That is the cause. Ah, right. And so if that's going to be the cause, you're being invited to shift the cause, Patrick, because the cause itself is playing against the shadow. And so the only way that we can play with the shadow is to be the light in the shadow, so that can come into light itself. And so coming to the cause of love, coming to the cause of being the light, so that you can move that out, anchor into that, move that out, so that you can connect with other people who will be in light and move that out with you. Otherwise, you'll be connecting with others in convergence that are actually playing in the shadow. And so I'm kind of feeling like in part of this, like you're having a hard time trusting people. And so you can't trust because of the cause. So just the cause. All right. Christy is moving business opportunities and shifting directions. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath. Just come into the moment. There's tightness around the chest, around the heart. So we're going to invite the heart to open. Your body is asking you to rest, Christy. I don't know if you've been in the busy, but it's like your body's like, hey, can you tell her to rest a little bit? To take an opportunity to nurture herself. Interesting. Yeah. Your body is desiring some energy. And so it's almost like, when the body whispers and you want to hear the whisper before it just responds or just does the thing. And suddenly you are in bed having to rest. Okay. So, Christy, you are changing. You are definitely moving business opportunities. The King of Diamonds is the successful business person. And so I feel like that this is the truth of where you're headed. This is the truth of this is the pathway that has been opened up for you, that you're feeling good about it. I think that one of the things about it, though, is implementing, or what is it that you want in it. So as I see the business, so I'm looking at the business, you've got like a mass of like information. You've got like skills. I want to say you've got skills to the tits. I don't even, those aren't my words. So you've got skills and you've got some magic. And in all of that, you've got this plethora of ideas and things that you love to do. And it's like, yeah, you don't know what you want. And so you know that you're moving in the business, you know that you're shifting gears, sort of, but not, but you don't know what you want in it. And so you're being invited to, one, nurture the body, rest, and to really come into what is it that I want with all of these things? Like what is true for me in this moment? What do I love? What do I want to devote myself to? And in that, it's not that you're going to pick and choose from all of these things that you have available to you. It's actually that it's going to arise through you so that you can begin to actually see, oh, this is how I'm going to get out here. This is how I'm going to, this is what's going to happen here. And I can see this is going to happen, and I can see that, and I can see this. And so in that, you're going to allow that to rise so that you can actually receive the fulfillment of it. And so in the fulfillment of it, there are some things that are going to be going. There are some things that might not serve in the direction that you're moving in. But this actually, for me, feels like an indication that you're going to receive the fulfillment of a successful business. You are on path. It's just that, like, it almost feels like someone gave you a box and the box was a business. And so you're rummaging through the box and you're like, oh, okay, cool. But they gave you the box and you don't know what to do with the box. But you don't know what to do with the box because you don't know what you want. So know what you want so you can focus the energy, and so that you can now invite in your soul, your high self, to come and play with you so that you can discover, oh, this, I want to bring that with me, and I'm taking that with me, and this is going to come. And of course, I want to do this. And then boom, it comes into, you come into alignment with that. You come into convergence with that. And then you come into like the success of that. So I love that. That is brilliant. Well done. Yay. Okay, I'm just going to double check that there aren't any other questions. Anyone else have questions? If you do, I'm going to give you a moment to put that into the chat. Thank you guys for joining me again. I know I had to cut that short. Oh, there we are. Maria Field, I knew. All right. Cars. Huh. I would love a card around cars. Now I'm thinking about the Cars. You know that band, the Cars? One, I'm going to invite you to come into the body, Maria. Take a deep breath. Open the heart. I feel like you've been playing serious for way too long. It's like, where's the fun? Where's the fun? I don't feel like I've had fun in a while. And I feel like you've had fun, and yet there's like, maybe it's this car thing that's been holding on your mind. I don't know, but it's like you haven't been fully embodied in the fun. And it's right, it's your birthday, and I know that, I think it's your birthday. Pretty sure. It was your birthday on the 23rd. Yeah. Huh. Message around cars. Interesting. Do you actually want a car? Are you being like, do you actually, yeah, it's interesting. Do you actually want a car? Do you actually want to buy a car? Are you actually moving in that direction, or do you feel like you have to get the car? Like, do you feel like you have to do the thing? Have you actually decided what to do about a car? Because it almost feels like with this two of clubs, it's like you're waiting for life to tell you what to do rather than you be the chooser of the experience. And so because of that, you're receiving a lot of mixed messages. And so I'm curious if the messages that you've been receiving is, hey, just choose. Oh, it was yesterday. Darn it. Yeah. So have you decided that you're going to get a car? Like, it's interesting, right? Yeah. Good. Because you're being initiated to really, to really, you have a pattern. I'm just going to get comfortable. You have a pattern of waiting for life to happen to you before you make decisions. And right now, what's happening for you, the reason why you're tired and why your body is tired is because you know that you are here to create your experiences. You've got the learnings, you've got the teachings, you've got all of the things. And so you know that you are the chooser of your experience, not the waiter of your experience. You know that you are here to be, to wake up from the dream of life so that you can be with life. And so are you willing to be the chooser? Are you willing to decide and actually allow for yourself to be in a deeper connection with your higher self, with your highest essence? Because your highest essence is wanting to come through and be with you and direct you and play with you and love with you and express with you and sing with you and have sex with you. Well, not, you know what I mean? And all of the things. It just wants to be fully embodied through you, with you, as you engage with life. And part of that is to be the chooser of it. And so are you willing to choose generational control around cars? Interesting. Yeah. What do you want? Do you actually want to buy a car? And if you don't want to, are you willing to choose it? Meaning not. Like, are you willing to be in the truth, right? Because as I'm feeling you, part of what's happening and part of what's circumventing with all of the waiting for life to happen is you're waiting for the reasons to happen to tell you what to do. But the reasons aren't the truth. The reasons are what causes the pain. And so it's, I don't want to choose. I don't want to choose whether or not I'm going to get this car because I don't want to hurt her feelings and I don't want her to be sad and I don't want her to be without a car and what are her friends going to think and what's going to happen here and all of these things. But if the truth is that you don't want a car, you want to buy a car, and you decide to let that happen, and you allow for her to be upset rather than you avoiding her, the conflict of her feeling upset, if you're willing to come back to you, then you're actually allowing for her to build resilience. You're allowing for her to come to maturity. You're allowing for her to grow. You're allowing for her to see other possibilities. You're allowing for her to release herself from this codependent relationship. And because like in this codependent relationship, you're allowing for her to expand out from the family. Yes, she's part of the family, but to expand out so that she can begin to make choices for herself and learn how to make choices for herself, be responsible for herself and all of those things. And you get to be here to support her and love her through it all. So it really is. It does feel as though you're avoiding disappointment and you're avoiding her disappointment. You're avoiding her feeling sad. And so are you willing to allow her to be sad and allow her to be disappointed? Because it feels like that's what you're running away from. Yeah. And so allowing yourself to stay in the decision because you really don't want it. I'm not going to tell you what to do. What do you feel in your body? You know the answer. You're giving me all of the reasons. And so do you want to buy a car? And even with that, does it have to be that car? Right? What do you want? Are you willing to create the experience with it? You're not in charge of how it's going to look. You're not in charge of how it's going to be received. You're not in charge of how it's going to come back to you. So that you can deepen your own trust for what it is that you want, so that you can move in the direction, so you can choose for you. I feel like you've been choosing for others for a long time, and it's time to choose for you. And this is your time. It's your birthday, right? And so I hope that that resonates. Sit, feel in, what is it that you desire? Decide to put it out there and do the thing. Ooh. Oh, wow. Rosalie, I think you asked for cards and I didn't see you. Could be. There we are. Now I'm just playing with you guys. I feel like I haven't pulled cards in a while, so. I'd like to know about acquiring a suite. A suite. Look at that. That sounds fancy. Acquiring a suite. Okay. Now, I know you know the answer. But what's holding you back from actually moving in the direction of the answer is because you feel like you have to sacrifice something in order to have it. And so what is it that you actually want? Are you willing to allow yourself to have it? It feels like in order to have the sweet, you think that something has to go. And it's very possible that something has to go. But I feel like what has to go is your own willingness to, your own believability that you deserve it, that you are worthy of it, that you can have it, that you can have an experience with it. And so yeah, it almost like it feels as though with the sweet, there's all of these reasons why you can't have it in this moment. And you're being invited to look at the truth of it. So, what is the truth of what you want? Look at the truth of what is here, and then decide whether or not you're going to move in the direction of it. Because it feels like there is a streamlined possibility that you can have it, that you are going to, that you can experience it, that you can receive the blessing of it. But I feel like there's something that's happening within your own mind, within your own thinking, that's moving you in. It's like you're being expanded in this. It almost feels like this sweet is representing something more for you. And so, are you willing to allow yourself to expand in your own thinking and expand in your own willingness to receive, to expand in your own possibility of play, of luxury, of love, of fun, um, and more? And I feel like there's something that's talking, but I feel like it's like your ego that's talking. There's like this tiny voice that's talking, that's saying, no, you can't have it. No, you shouldn't have it. What about the money? Hey, Christmas is coming. And it's like, oh, hold on. Everything looks good. I want it. Will you allow yourself to have it? Because the blessing to have it is actually there, and to actually receive the support that you desire in order to attain this is here. You just got to shift your own thinking, be with it. I feel like you know exactly how to do that. Awesome. Joanne. Hi. Awesome. When will sickness leave from my circle? It's a nonstop. Christina, that is a hard question. Like, that is not a question that we can actually respond to. That I think that it's not when will sickness leave from my circle. It's when will I allow myself to be in acceptance to what's happening in my life. Can I be in acceptance with what's happening in my life? What's holding me back from being open and available to what's happening in my life? Because it almost feels as though you're tripping yourself up in your thinking. So you're tripping yourself up, because I can see your eyes. Your eyes is like changing. And so you've got someone that's ill, and then it's like you have this defeatist thought, it comes in and it changes, and you're looking for more and you see more. And then you're looking for more and you see more. And it's very possible that, yes, there are people in your life who are not well, but you're being triggered every single time by the experience. And this triggering is inviting you to come into your power, coming into love, coming into actually releasing control. So you're coming into a deeper connection with, with God, with the divine, with your understanding. There's this misunderstanding that you believe that God is punishing your people, punishing your family, that he's allowing all of these bad things to happen. And we can use God, or we can use creator, or we can use energy, whatever language you want to use. But there's this part of you that is thinking that God is the reason. And so just feel that in your heart, because your heart is closed and there's so much anger and rage and resentment and fear and anxiety. And so just allowing that to open and to move. Are you willing to forgive God? Oh, 2 spades. Are you willing to forgive God? Are you willing to forgive God, not to, so that you can let yourself off the hook, and so that you can let yourself release from all of these emotions and all of these ideas that and concepts that are being held in the body? Are you willing to allow yourself to move through that so that you can experience a cleanse and a release? And I know that you know how to do that. And so I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath. There's a lot of energy that's moving, and a lot of sadness, hurt, betrayal. And so we'll let that go. You're being initiated to see that the physical, that those around you, that life around you is not happening to you. That the pain or the illness of others is not a personal attack upon you. There's more energy moving, so we're just letting it move. Yeah. And so we're wanting to release this idea that all of this stuff is happening to hurt you, is happening to you, even the illnesses. And that somehow there's a part of you that thinks that you are the cause of it, and you're not the cause. It's not because of you. And so because you are the sense that you are the cause, you're trying to orchestrate so hard to manipulate the physical, to try to control everything, everyone, what the doctors say, what the doctors don't say, where you're going to put this, where you're going to do this, what you're going to do there. And you think that you're the boss of everything and that you can actually control it, and you can't. And so like your body is so tired from holding this and holding this burden. And the thing is holding this burden is having you project onto others. And so, and so it almost feels as though there's like this exhaustion of others around you because you yourself are exhausted. And it almost looks as though you're exhausting possibilities for you that are so plentiful. So many possibilities that are available for you, but you're exhausting the possibilities because you're projecting onto them. And there's a part of you that is also rising up that is, it's like you think that you are the savior of them, that you can save them by controlling. And that's, and so we're wanting to release that as well. And so we're inviting that to move so that you can come into a deeper clarity, a deeper sense of who you are in this experience. Yeah. You're running with all these reasons rather than the truth. And the reasons are what is pulling you apart. And the reasons are for other people, not even for you. And so it's very much like Maria, where Maria doesn't want to feel the pain of disappointing her daughter or someone in her life for this car. And so you or yourself are doing the exact same thing to try to circumvent pain to not happen for your children, for your husband, for your mom, for your brother, for your dad, for all of the people. And the thing is that's not possible. And this is what's happening for you. You're being invited to break through this in a massive way so that you can come into a deeper clarity, a deeper sense of what it is to nurture myself, to nurture my mind, my emotions, my body, to know, to nurture my spirit, to fill myself back up, so that I can re-identify how I'm going to nurture those around me. So I can re-identify who I am as a mom, who I am as a wife, who I am as a daughter, who I am as a friend, who I am. Yeah. And so you're moving through I guess what would be called a dark night of the soul. And you're moving through it. And so one of the things that I'm going to task you with, should you choose, is to really move through forgiveness, to really be in the present moment, to notice where you're trying to control or manipulate physical things that cannot be manipulated, or people that cannot be manipulated, so that you can allow yourself to just rest and be at peace. Yeah. So I hope that resonates. And so energy is continuing to move, and we'll allow the energy to continue to move through the body. I invite you to have some water, to rest. Yeah. Sharon, yes, I will absolutely pull you a card. Be my pleasure. I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath too. I feel like there's something that you're wanting. There's something that's in your field that you're like actually like playing with, like an idea or thought. Kind of looks like a flower, but I know you in flowers. So, but it kind of looks like there's an idea that is starting to birth or come into your mind. Yeah, it does. It feels like there's a new expression that's coming forth. It's presenting to me in my mind as a flower. And I know that you make these beautiful wands, and I know that you play with nature, and I know you do all these things, but this actually feels different. It feels like there's an expansion of what you do now that's coming forth. It may come in as a download soon. Feels like you'll get a new idea if you don't already. It feels like you're going to get a new idea in about three days. Which is interesting. So 3 days, you'll get a new idea, or new dream, a new inspiration that'll come forth. Yeah. And how fun is that? And so you're being invited to go with it, to actually move this out into action. So as this comes forth, as this comes through, to really play with it, to cue with it, to feel into the frequency of it. This almost feels like it's this divine offering that's coming. And so as you move this through, you'll be inspired into action. It feels like this can come and be done like really, really quick. And as you start to take inspired action with this, this new inspiration, you're going to receive people coming into your life. You'll receive, it doesn't feel like, it's not that you need it, but it feels like you're going to receive accolades. Like people are going to want it. People are going to be like, oh, wow, what a great idea. Oh, I love that. I want some of that. I want to connect, get me some of that, connect with me, or connect me with some of that. It also feels like, I can't remember your card in this moment, but it feels like you come into a deeper sense of the truth of your purpose. Like this is what I was meant to do in the world. This is what I was like. I just love this. Does it make sense? I know it's all flowery, but it's because it's all up here, right? Like it's something's coming forth. You're going to move it out into the world. It's going to bring in some abundance, some money. It's going to give you the things, and it's a deeper anchoring into like your purpose, your expression. Oh, your 2 spades. Yeah. What you're wanting to move out into the world. And so, yeah, it's a mirroring of you. So I love it. Yay. I hope that resonates. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, for playing with me. I think that I might jump on to channeling numbers, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe on Saturday during the eclipse, just to pull more cards. And so if you are in channeling numbers, I'd love to, connect with you there. I'll give a time, maybe Friday. And yes, thank you so much for connecting. If you and I haven't yet connected, I'd love to connect. I do a free offering of connecting into your numbers, ruling number, birth card, do a bit of channeling, connect a little bit. And yeah, I'd love to connect with you. All right. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the spaces. Lots of love. Happy full moon eclipse. Bye for now.